Not off the hook. Former Taipei City Mayor Ko Wen-je faces a possible second arrest over charges of corruption after prosecutors appealed his release without bail.
我也不希望有一天台湾有罪的定义重新改变。什么叫有罪？你知道？民进党说你有罪，你就有罪。
President Lai Ching-te leads the country's Armed Forces Day Memorial for the first time since taking office.
We're in the economic hub of Vietnam to see how Taiwanese businesses here are adapting and elevating Vietnam's digital factory game.
Plus,
after a month of spirits roaming the earth, the gates to the underworld have finally closed. We take a look at an ancient ritual that marks the end of Ghost Month, and that involves that massive structure behind me.
a warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Leslie Liao. Former Taipei Mayor Ko Wen-je faces a second arrest as prosecutors appeal his release without bail. Ko says he wasn't involved in decision-making during his time as mayor for the land development deal at the center of allegations against him. But some outside his political camp are skeptical. John Van Trieste reports.
Just a day after former Taipei Mayor Ko Wen-je was released without bail, prosecutors are trying to have him arrested again. They believe Ko was involved in a deal that helped the owners of a shopping mall make big profits by drastically expanding their floor area. Ko says he knew nothing about the details of the deal. Ko and members of the party he went on to found, the Taiwan People's Party, have also attacked the investigation. They say inspectors are looking for any dirt they can find, even if it's not related to the shopping mall scandal. And they believe their main political rival, the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, is to blame.
你们大概现在动用全部国家力量，在很认真的研究柯文哲。我也不希望有一天台湾有罪的定义重新改变。什么叫有罪？你知道？民进党说你有罪，你就有罪。
But there are those who doubt Ko's innocence. Some of his Democratic Progressive Party rivals are chief among them.
柯文哲现在装作无知，但是事实上，我们看到相关的公文、相关的证据都显示，柯文哲明明是了解这个案子的争议性以及它的司法性。
But doubt is also coming from the main opposition party, the Kuomintang, which has generally allied with Ko's Taiwan People's Party in the legislature.
都是你盖章出去，怎么会忘记呢？所以我觉得要有诚信啊，现在不可以耍皮耍赖到底啊。
Other political factions may have something to gain by sowing doubt about a rival, but a former member of Taipei's Urban Planning Commission has also shared their suspicions. In a Facebook post, Professor of Architecture Zheng Guangzong says that he opposed the expansion of floor space on legal grounds, and that others raised problems with the plan too. He says politicians cannot evade responsibility by saying they didn't know what happened on their watch. After a day of relative quiet, the scandal looks like it might start up again. Even if he remains a free man, Ko Wen-je's not yet managed to shake the scrutiny and suspicion off. Devin Tsai and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is celebrating its soldiers on Armed Forces Day. President Lai Ching-te went to honor the country's defenders in his latest effort to unite Taiwanese since taking office. Tiffany Wong reports.
September 3rd is Armed Forces Day in Taiwan, and President Lai Ching-te and Vice President Bi-khim Hsiao have come to the Martyr Shrine in Taipei to honor those who have served the country. The day also marks Victory over Japan Day and the end of World War II in 1945. It's a day full of contradictions in Taiwan. The island was a colony of Japan during the war, and many Taiwanese fought in the Japanese army. But the Republic of China government was one of the major powers in the Allied victory in the Pacific, and it's that government that Lai leads today. Now, this is Lai's first time presiding over the memorial as president, and for him, it's a chance to show that he's a leader for the whole country. His Democratic Progressive Party is often seen as downplaying Taiwan's links to China, but an event like this is a reminder of the importance of that history even today. It's also in keeping with a theme in Lai's recent speeches, honoring those who have sacrificed themselves to keep Taiwan free, promoting peace through strength, and trying to unite the country at this moment. Andy She and Tiffany Wong in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's main opposition party is slamming President Lai Ching-te's picks to replace 7 retiring justices, calling it the worst list of nominees ever.
看看这个名单，这个又绿又毒。
Citing neutrality concerns, the KMT is demanding a new list of nominees. The presidential office says the 7 nominees are highly qualified with extensive legal backgrounds and have progressive views on democracy and human rights. The nominees must be confirmed by the legislature, where the opposition KMT and TPP together hold a majority. Ruling party lawmakers say they are willing to discuss and collaborate on the issue.
民生优先的前提之下，不论跟白跟蓝，我们都愿意合作。
China and Singapore are conducting joint maritime drills at a naval base in China's Guangdong province. The 5-day maritime exercise kicked off on Sunday and will last until Thursday. About 200 sailors from both navies are practicing search and rescue operations as well as weapons training. This is the 3rd time the 2 navies have trained together. Singapore's military regularly holds joint exercises with other countries, including the U.S. In China, a school bus has hit and killed several middle school students. The bus drove into a group of students gathering outside a school in the eastern Shandong province. Local authorities say over 10 people are dead and a dozen injured. The cause of the crash is still not clear. The EU Commission is calling on Mongolia to detain Russian President Vladimir Putin as part of its obligation to the International Criminal Court. This is the first time since the ICC issued an arrest warrant for the Russian leader that he is visiting an ICC member country. As a member, The Hague expects Mongolia to help execute arrest warrants. Last week, Russian officials stated that they had been assured that Mongolia would not detain Putin before arranging the trip. In 2023, the ICC issued the warrant for Putin over the forced deportation of Ukrainian children to Russia. Industry execs in Taiwan and Vietnam are putting their heads together to find the best way to turn traditional factories into smart ones. Vietnam is aiming to digitally transform its industries, but not all companies have the foundation to even start. We look at one Taiwanese factory in Vietnam helping to lead the way.
By scanning a QR code, Deputy Production Manager Kim Thuy logs how many screws have been made in the factory line. She works at Anchor Fasteners, a Taiwan-owned company in southern Vietnam. Every day, they make tens of thousands of screws of varying shapes and sizes for top-tier motorbikes from auto giants Honda and Yamaha. On this computer, Kim can track each piece at different stages of production on a centralized online system, a process that used to involve filling out stacks of paper spreadsheets.
Dạ cũng không ạ, nó đơn giản hơn là mình học ở đóng tay như bình thường.
This is all part of the factory's effort to go digital. Getting production lines online is a way to stay competitive in Vietnam, a nation working to rebrand itself from a cost-effective manufacturing hub to one capable of high-tech projects. Social scientist Chen Ti-mong Thuyen has watched her country evolve and says digital transformation is crucial if Vietnam wants to become a developed economy.
We already have some significant results, especially in the e-commerce, digital banking, and online tourism. The middle income also increasing dramatically in Ho Chi Minh City. So we can see that the more and more the high-end services, and it's never happened before.
Vietnam is looking to pull off an industrial revolution using the world's latest smart factory technology and artificial intelligence. To help with the modernization of the fastener factory, its general director, Shi Bo-chang, turned to mechanical engineer Kenneth Chen. Chen, who formed the A1 Smart Factory Alliance, custom makes roadmaps for firms intending to go digital.
Most of the factories or companies, they are not ready for the so-called digital transformation. They don't even have the basic foundation yet. In Vietnam, you have more opportunities because people have no burden, no background, so they are used to accept a new technology.
Chen says the key is to start small and do it in stages, like computerizing data from different parts of the factory and gathering them in a way machines can process and in the future act on. This frees up employees from simpler, repetitive tasks and lays the foundation for more ambitious upgrades.
One example of how this factory can up its digital journey is with those cameras up there. Right now, they're part of a surveillance network to monitor the shop floor. But these cameras could have another purpose in the future by integrating AI. What that would look like is that an AI-trained camera can see a gesture or motion like this and automatically signal to machines to change a control.
Ultimately, for factory head Shi, upgrades must make sense for the business and be practical for employees.
你所有的改善都必须员工养成习惯，员工如果没有养成习惯，你再大的改善，你也是回到原点啊。
Execs like Shi and Chen are working with other tech advocates across different sectors, from software developers to professors, training the next generation of engineers. The goal? To find the right high-tech tools to up each firm's ability to contribute to Vietnam's increasingly rapid growth. Eason Chen, Allison Nguyen, and Joyce Zen in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam for TaiwanPlus.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow as TaiwanPlus speaks to budding Vietnamese engineers to learn about their tech aspirations for their country. Coming up after the break, a culinary heritage under threat. Climate change puts a strain on South Korea's kimchi cabbage farmers.
Enjoy the rich diversity of Taiwan's independent music. Taiwan Calling, every Sunday, 9:30 p.m. on TaiwanPlus.
Greetings from CNN. On behalf of our team, I'd like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to TaiwanPlus on its 3rd year anniversary.
Taiwan's English language channel to the world, it's very important.
Your discussions of international affairs contribute greatly to advancing understanding of Taiwan.
I think it's a very important addition to Taiwan's ability to tell its story around the world.
We greatly value our ongoing partnership and look forward to continuing a mutually successful collaboration in the years ahead.
In the minds of many of your listeners, it really is Taiwan plus.
And so let me wish you a very happy birthday.
Happy 3rd anniversary.
A happy 3rd anniversary.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Pope Francis has touched down in Indonesia, the first stop in the longest trip of his pontificate. During a 12-day tour, the leader of the Catholic Church will also visit Papua New Guinea, East Timor, and Singapore as he attempts to improve ties in the Asia-Pacific. Rosie Greninger reports.
Pope Francis lands in Indonesia for the first leg of the longest and farthest trip of his pontificate, a 12-day Asia-Pacific tour. His first stop, the world's most populous Muslim nation, Indonesia. With more than 275 million people. In the capital, Jakarta, police are finalising security preparations. Here, the 87-year-old leader of the Catholic Church is expected to promote interfaith ties and build religious tolerance.
Indonesia itu punya peran yang signifikan, saya mengatakan demikian di mata dunia dan juga di mata Vatikan gitu ya. Dari banyak hal. Indonesia tadi saya sudah katakan bahwa negara dengan populasi mayoritas muslim terbesar di dunia, salah satu yang terbesar. Tapi lepas dari sedikit gesekan-gesekan kecil yang ada di masyarakat akar rumput, secara khusus kan Indonesia rukun, aman, dan damai gitu. Secara umum, in general.
There are 8 million Catholics in Indonesia, but they represent only 3% of the population. During his 4-day visit here, Pope Francis will celebrate Mass for an expected crowd of 80,000 people, meet the country's outgoing president, Joko Widodo, and visit the country's largest place of worship, the Istiqlal Mosque, where he's expected to tour an underground tunnel of friendship that links the mosque to the country's Catholic cathedral. The tunnel was built in 2020 as a symbol of religious harmony.
Kita memang akan memanfaatkan kehadiran paus itu sekaligus untuk membicarakan titik temu antara umat beragama ya. Karena kita sangat berharap ya bahwa penekanan aspek titik temu antara satu agama dengan agama lain, satu keyakinan dengan keyakinan yang lain, satu etnik dengan etnik yang lain.
The papal visit reflects the importance of this region to the Church. It's one of the places Catholicism is growing significantly. The Asia-Pacific visit was planned to take place 4 years ago, but was rescheduled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Pope Francis's presence here is widely welcomed by the public.
Kalau saya terus terang ya, saya memang lain agama, lain kepercayaan, tapi saya suka aja. Artinya ini kebersamaan menyatu ya, artinya saling menghormati, itu yang saya suka. Saya oke-oke aja datang ke Indonesia, saya suka.
Menurut saya itu sangat penting sekali karena memang umat beragama kita di Indonesia kan beragam. Jadi dengan adanya paus datang ke Indonesia ini untuk mencerminkan bahwa kita bangsa Indonesia ini mencintai seluruh dan meyakini kepercayaan kita masing-masing.
The Pope's next stop will be Papua New Guinea, where he'll meet with missionaries to discuss climate change, before going to East Timor, where Pope John Paul II offered a liturgy in 1989. And finally, Pope Francis will head to Singapore, where he'll focus on improving ties with China. A major tour boasting over 40 events, as the leader of the Catholic Church works to reach the faithful and strengthen ties in the Asia-Pacific. Dolphine Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
In India, violent clashes continue as protesters demand justice for a trainee doctor who was raped and murdered in a Kolkata government-run hospital. Police once again used tear gas and water cannons to try and control crowds. Students and members of India's ruling BJP were among the demonstrators. The doctor's violent death happened in West Bengal, an area controlled by an opposition state government, and has triggered political uproar. The protests, now spanning more than 2 weeks, are turning into the longest movement of its kind in recent memory. It's been a sweltering summer in Asia with deadly weather conditions and extremely hot temperatures. There were deadly flash floods in South Asia, killing hundreds while displacing thousands more in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Experts say these extreme weather patterns of prolonged heat followed by deadly flash flooding are accelerating. Meanwhile, Japan saw a summer almost 2 degrees Celsius hotter than average. Its weather agency says it tied last year for the hottest summer on record, with temperatures topping out at 41 degrees Celsius. Pungent, pickled, and spicy kimchi is a Korean staple, but climate change may soon take it off the menu. South Korean cabbage farmers say rising temperatures are causing a decline in production. Wesley Lewis has the story.
These fields in South Korea's highlands produce nearly all of the country's homegrown kimchi cabbage. Local farmer Kim Shige has been cultivating kimchi cabbage here every summer for over 50 years. But he says his farm has been hit by climate change.
기후에 대한 위기가 닥쳐오고 있구나 하는 것은 조금 피부로 느끼고 있습니다.
Kim says cabbage production in the region has already halved due to soil viruses that thrive in higher temperatures. And dealing with this new problem has increased production costs.
각종 병해 충에 이제 많이 걸리기 때문에 거기에 이제 저게 조금 효과가 있다는 그런 물질들을 계속 투입을 해야 돼요. 계속 살포를 해줘야 됩니다.
According to a state agricultural think tank, climate change could make it impossible for kimchi cabbage to be grown in these highlands by the end of this century. This not only jeopardizes the livelihoods of cabbage farmers, but as kimchi masters say, it could threaten South Korea's culinary heritage.
우리 조상 대대로 먹어왔던 김치마저 이게 내 땅에서 자란 배추로 담글 수 없다는 거는 아주 슬픈 일이에요.
Agricultural researchers have been working on initiatives to address the impacts of climate change, like creating new varieties of heat and disease-resistant cabbage.
온도를 낮출 수 있는 그런 살수 방법이라든지, 그리고 아까도 말씀드렸겠지만 새로 발생하는 반촉시드름병에 대한 생물 방제 방법 확대 보급하는 방향도 하고요.
Last week, South Korea's constitutional court ruled that the government's climate change laws fail to protect the country's future generations from a climate crisis, and ordered they be revised by 2026. But as temperatures across the country's cabbage-growing highlands continue to soar, the fear is that even the country's most seasoned kimchi cabbage farmers won't be able to cope with the impacts of climate change. James Lin and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Ghost Month has officially ended here in Taiwan. Our reporter Sandy Chi went to see an ancient ritual marking the closure of the gates of the underworld.
And with that, a fierce competition begins. The grand finale of Ghost Month in Taiwan. This is the Qiang Gu Festival, an ancient tradition held annually in Tocheng on the northeast coast of the country. Around 5,000 spectators gathered to witness this iconic event, a powerful celebration of cultural heritage, sports, and communal spirit.
今年是199年明年就是200年。那是我们普渡是选最后一天，然后我们就把过去的那一种习俗、文化、民俗，然后就有抢姑这样的活动。
The event is meant to honor the spirits that have been wandering the earth for the past month and send them back to the underworld with offerings. About a dozen teams take part each year. Many of them have competed several times before and spent months preparing.
其实这个活动蛮迷人的，就是你参加过一次，你就会想要参加第二次，对，因为。 就是它有它的挑战性，它的困难性，但你完成了以后，就不管名次，你会有一个成就感。
超我准备2个月，就是下班的时候就基地训练，然后就爬电线杆，对，然后到了近期的时候就抹牛油。
Each team is focused on one thing.
The goal is to head to the top of that structure, climbing up greasy poles to the platform and then to cone-shaped tips made from bamboo. All in all, the structure is at least 10 stories tall.
Each team consists of 5 male members, all of whom must be over 18 years old. The strongest people go at the base to provide a solid foundation, while the lighter and more agile members climb to the top to chop down the flag. In the past, claiming the flag was thought to bring luck to the winner's community, especially its fishers. But now it's more a matter of community pride. This year's winner claimed the flag in 22 minutes 26 seconds. The team overcoming slips and falls to make it to the top.
其实很开心，非常开心，因为去年我也是12号柱，但去年很可惜失误掉下来了。今年还是一样12号柱，又跑回来，那种感觉真的很棒，不要放弃，就算是最后上去，也是有可能夺得第一。
As the Qiang Gu Festival draws to a close, participants and spectators revel in the celebrations. It stands as a timeless reminder of the resilience and shared tradition that bind the community together. Luffy Lee and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
A village in Taiwan's south is working to restore traditions almost lost to time and to give the local elderly community the opportunity to show off their skills and preserve their culture. Research reports.
Rows of pea-green tobacco plants, bringing back a splash of colour to this southern Taiwanese village. Luoman was once a key area for tobacco farming in Taiwan, but the industry saw a decline as the local population aged. Now, renewed efforts from the community are helping revive traditional agricultural practices.
透过这几个烟楼，让人家知道说，哦，鹿满的历史跟以前的产业发展有烟叶这件事情，我觉得对于那些老一辈的烟农，可能也是一种肯定。
It's part of a wider push in the village to restore local traditions almost lost to time. In addition to growing tobacco, the area also has a musical history. Local instrument makers are invited to host workshops and to show off skills they've learned over the decades and more sustainable approaches they've embraced in their age-old crafts.
我做这环保的。你这用什么做呀？这铁管，这微条，这塑胶管，这油管挂，这人唔买塑胶管啊。
For many elderly members of the community, the Luoman Cultural Restoration Project has provided a new sense of purpose and vitality, while also helping preserve once endangered local traditions. Andy Shi and Rees for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Finally, check out these light installations at Gachina Palace in St. Petersburg during its annual Night of Light Festival. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.